Hello folks, and welcome to my manga reads video. I'm combining January and February together because I just couldn't bring myself to make the January reads video last month. So yes, I will start off with this. I had that same dream again. This is a complete done in one volume, and the back says, "The Long Road to Happiness. A high schooler who hurts herself, a young woman spurned by society, and an old woman spending her twilight years in quiet solitude. While Nanoka, I don't know how that name is pronounced, sorry, a grade schooler with few friends, gets to know these three very different people. She seeks to understand what they all have in common and just what it means to be happy. As her budding relationships grow, perhaps she can find her own path to happiness." So I read this and I was a little underwhelmed with it after having... I apologize, my heater is on again. Hate it when it turns on, but it is cold, so I apologize for the drowning background noise. Anyway, I read I Had That Same Dream Again. It is a story that I felt was a little underwhelming after reading I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but it is still a really good, heartwarming story, and it is something I recommend. I don't know how much I want to go into detail about this story because I don't want to give spoilers, but yeah. Let's just say that it is really good, but if you have read I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, be warned, it's not as deep as that. Next, I read volumes 2 and 3 of Tsubasa Those with Wings. This series is from the same creator as Fruits Basket, and it is a little hard to come by these volumes because these are old Tokyo Pop volumes and basically out of print. But this story I found quite good once you got into the swing of things. But it's basically about a girl in the future, like it's an apocalyptic world kind of, but not apocalyptic. It's hard to explain. But if you ever get a chance to read this, it is something I recommend, but keep in mind this is some of her earlier work. And yeah. So yeah, Tsubasa Those with Wings. Next, in January, I read Dream and Sun Volume 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, I will say that this series is a little hard to get into, in my opinion, at least for me it was, because basically volumes 2 through 6 are kind of just filler volumes. There isn't really a development in the plot. I'm not 100% sure. It just felt a little slow. It felt like the story... I was actually almost about to give up on the series until I read volume 7, and then it started to really pick up. So yeah, I'm actually very happy I read this series. I didn't get to finish reading the rest of the series in January, but I did finish it in February. The next volume I read in January, and the last volume I read in January, was Berserk, Volume 1. I read this basically because I wanted to see if the series was worth it to pick up or not, and so I quickly read this on, I want to say January 5th. I remember the day. No. I don't know. I don't know the exact day I do know the exact day that I read this, I just can't think of it at the top of my head. Because that day that I read it, there was a sale on Berserk volumes on Right Stuff, and so I wanted to see if this was worth it to get, to pick up the series, and it was. So yeah, you'll see that I really like this series when I show off what I read in February. So that quickly was what I read in January. Now on to February. Oh boy. So compared to January, February is going to seem like a massive read. Let me start off with the rest of Dream and Sun of Volume 8, 9, and 10. I finished reading this series, and I did like the ending. I was happy with the ending, let's put it that way. I was also a little disappointed by the ending, but it is still a series. If you can get your hands on it, I do recommend reading, but I know it's hard to get volume 5, so yeah. Good series. Really cute. The next series I read was one I have been waiting to read for a long, long time, and that is Cherry Juice. I managed to read the entire series of 4 volumes, and I'll say this, my high schooler self would have loved this series. My adult self so much? Nah. It's still cute, it's still funny, I still understand it and get it, but it's definitely not meant for me at my age now. So, but yeah, Cherry Juice. I am actually glad though that I have managed to read this series. So yeah, Cherry Juice volumes 1 through 4. Next I read Not Your Idol volumes 1 and 2, and let me just say, I really want volume 3 to come out. Oh my gosh, the series is really good. It's actually not what I expected at first, because if you read the back, after that day she stopped being a girl. In the wake of an assault, Nina Kamiyama, forgive me, I butchered that, a former idol in the group Pure Club, shuns her femininity and starts dressing as a boy. At high school, she keeps to herself, but fellow student Hikaru Horiichi, again I butchered that, sorry, realizes who she is. What secrets is she keeping? The shocking drama starts. So when I read that premise months and months ago, I thought it was a completely different meaning, but it's actually about a girl who is an idol, or was an idol, and she was attacked with a knife by a fan. And this story takes you through how she's dealing with that suffering and working through the process of the trauma that she went through and having to deal with that her attacker is still on the loose, and dealing with how to move forward in her life now that this happened to her, and it affected her pretty deeply. And it is something I highly recommend reading, though maybe wait for a couple more volumes to come out if they ever do. I know it is taking a little while for volume 3, if it will even come, but yes. Not Your Idol, great story. Then I read Spy Family volumes 1, 2, and 3. Now, I know that a lot of people get hooked on this story like within the first couple of chapters of volume 1, but I actually didn't get hooked into it right away. It actually took me, I believe, to like the middle of volume 2, or even not till the end of volume 3. It did take me a bit to get into it, and I don't know why, but I do know that I like this series, a lot, to the point where I have pre-ordered the 4th volume. But I actually, by the end of volume 1, I almost wondered why the heck this was such a praised story. But I get it now. It is really cute, it's funny, and I can't wait to see what the heck happens if anyone ever finds out anything about this family. The truth, I should clarify. So that was Spy Family. The next series I read is Platinum End Volumes 2, 3, 4. I did read Volume 5 and Volume 6, but I returned Volume 5 because on the spine it had, almost seems like someone had dropped it and there was peeling, like the plastic part, off of the volume, so I returned it and I'm getting a replacement copy, but that won't arrive until next month. Sorry, so far I am absolutely loving this series. I can see where people are getting mad that it's basically a another Death Note, but there are differences between Death Note and Platinum End, and I don't see myself dropping this series anytime soon. I still plan on collecting it, I still plan on reading it. I'm really loving this story. I've already ordered volume 7 and 9 because of volume 8 was out of stock on Right Stuff, but yes. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to catch up to date on this series. The next series I read was The Flowers of Evil Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the entire series. I can see where this story is really good, and I can see where it could be better, but I actually love this story. I mean, not to bits or anything, but I'm blown away. I'm amazed by this story. I was quite surprised. I didn't know what to expect of the series. I'm fairly new to Shuzo Oshimi's work. I don't know how that's pronounced. I'm sorry, I butchered it. But this is the first full series that I read of his. And I am currently reading Blood on the Tracks. Yes, really, really good series. Next, I read Blood on the Tracks Volumes 2, 3, and 4. So I am fully caught up to date on Blood on the Tracks, and I plan on pre-ordering it fairly soon, closer probably till the middle of March when the next volume comes out. But oh my gosh, this series I am in love with. I love the relationship between the mom and the main character. Not like love that relationship. I mean, I'm loving how the story is going, kind of like the relationship between the two main characters in The Flowers of Evil. It's a realistic story, a relationship I have seen and heard of before, so it's really interesting to see in a work like this. So yeah, I'm loving this series. It's really good. The next story I read, or manga I read, is 5 centimeters per second. I was actually a little disappointed when reading this. It's still a great story, but I was disappointed reading it because to me there was like no solid set conclusion. Nothing really happens, and I was actually quite upset with this character. What's his name? What is his name? Anyway, this character, I was like, dude, really? Why are you so hung up on this one girl for his entire life, basically? He doesn't really get anything done throughout his entire life, so I didn't understand it, I guess. Still, I mean, it's an okay story. in my opinion. I know a lot of people love this. I'm not dissing on it. I'm not hating on it. It's just not my type of story. Next, I read The Golden Sheep, Volumes 1, 2, and 3, which is the complete series. I have read The God's Lie years ago, and it was, I say years ago, it was actually only a couple of years ago, but I read that story, and so I picked up this series during the, that's out of frame. I picked up this series during the Right Stuff holiday sale, and I decided to read it, and it's actually really good. I do like it. I do like it. It's really good. It's a simple, short story involving friends, and just, I recommend this story. I really don't know what to say about it, except for that it's just really good. I don't want to get into detail and spoil it. The next series I read, yes, I know, we're almost at the end, but we have a couple more series to go. But the first series, or this next series, I should say, I read is After the Rain, Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is the complete series. Oh my gosh. Boy, did I love this series. I was actually unexpectedly loved this series. This was a big gamble impulse buy during the Right Stuff holiday sale, and I was actually worried that I wouldn't like it as much as I did. I mean, I sat down after reading the first volume. I had to take a little break because I was just getting so overwhelmed with loving the series. It's what I do a lot, that I was getting hyped up and excited, and I wanted to take my time and carefully read the next volumes. So I had to put it down, otherwise I would have just blazed right through them and missed some details. But After the Rain is such a great story, and I love it. I mean, what can I say? It's going to be a top favorite of mine within at least the top 20. Probably not the top 10, but at least the top 20. Maybe one of my favorite 11th. But still pretty good. Because I have a lot of series I love. But After the Rain is definitely in the top 20 for sure. Love, love, love. Love this series. And for it, it's technically an age gap. It's technically not an age gap at the same time. But I recommend this series. Let's just say that. Recommend it. I'm so glad I bought it. The second to last series that I read is Vinland Saga Volumes 2 and 3. And oh my gosh, I need more. But they're so expensive. I'm going to probably be prioritizing some other series over Vinland Saga, but I will definitely try to pick up the rest of the series as soon as I can, because this is so good. I am really loving Vinland Saga. This is reminding me so much of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's reminding me a lot of the show Vikings. I love both. So yes, Vinland Saga, so good. I am really loving where it's going so far. Okay. Alright, this last series that I read in the month of February is Berserk Deluxe Edition Volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I read all of this series up to date in the month of February. Sorry, I almost forgot what month it was in. But yes, oh my gosh, I am so loving this series. I can see why it's a masterpiece. I can see why it's so good. I need volume 7. I've already pre-ordered volume 7. I've read a lot this month. So, yes. The biggest challenge was getting through all of Berserk. I wanted to read all of Berserk because now that I finally got volume 5, but it's also a really great series. And after reading volume 5 and just glancing back at volume 1, I realized some of the things that I actually missed in volume 1. So yeah, that's really cool to look back on. So yeah, that is what I read in February. It is a lot, and this is what I normally read in a month, maybe even more. I can read more than this. If I really sit down and set my time to it, I can read a whole lot, but I also have to eat and sleep and have time to breathe. So, yes. I'm sorry if this video is too long or rambly, or I didn't go into detail about each series, but as you can see, it was a lot to process, a lot of it. And yeah, I don't know what else more to say. I guess I will see you in the next video.